Hey everybody, I am Stacy. I'm the owner and artist of New Creations by Stacy. So I'm just going to give it a sec, make sure we're live before we get started. Happy Halloween, everybody. I actually didn't realize it fell on a Monday when I signed up for the lives, but hopefully we'll have a couple people here tonight. But if you are watching it later because you're out trick-or-treating with the little ones, just please do a hashtag replay. Just lets me know that you saw it. And all right, so I do think we're live now. So just go ahead, if you're popping on, just say hey, where you're watching from. So we're going to do a little project tonight. Like I said, I didn't realize it was Halloween. Well, when I signed up, that was last month. So anyway, we're just going to, oh, hey, Thelma, I'm so happy you're on. It's good to see you. Usually I don't get to see you live. I see you after. But, oh, I'm super excited. So the piece I painted last week, sorry, I digress. Oh, hey, Catherine. So the piece we painted last week, you guys, I'm so excited about that. That actually came from Thelma. Thank you, Thelma. And you're not going to believe how different it is. But anyway, we can't work on that one tonight, but I'll be posting sneak peeks this week, and I'll be able to protect it probably about Friday. I need to wait for that no pain gel stain to dry. So once I do that, I'll be staging and posting the final pictures. I'm loving where it's going right now. But anyway, so tonight we're going to be working on just a little piece. We're going to be using some Voodoo gel stains on baskets to really lighten those up. And then we're also going to, so I have a transfer that I damaged. I rolled over it with my little chair here. And we're going to be kind of working with a damage transfer, kind of learning how you can work around that and what you can do to kind of cover it up. Hey! So anyway, we'll go ahead and just talk about what I've done so far. You guys, in the item description too, which I did remember to post this week. Last week I totally forgot until after the live. But I do have a link to my Facebook page so you guys can see how everything turns out once it's finished, as well as I usually try to post all the videos in one place for a specific piece. So I do those a little bit later when I post the piece as well. But in the description, there's a link to my Facebook page. Just please like and follow me on Facebook. And then also we have the Chalk Mineral Paint Enthusiast group link. And I'll be going on live a couple times next month on there just to give you some ideas for like Christmas presents that you can make for people, just easy little projects. And then also I have the link to the Dixie Belle page so that you can find your local retailer or you can order products through there as well. So I think that's it for the links. If I think of anything else, I'll come back to it. But so this little piece here, it's just got several basket drawers that run down. It was a black, and I thought it was originally laminate, but it's not. It's actually solid wood. And anyway, I did do a slick stick on it though, because it had like a really slippery surface, and Slick Stick is our bonding primer. So you can paint like glass, metal. I use it a lot for like the really shiny hardware on dressers and stuff like that. But anything, plastic, stuff like that, you use Slick Stick with. So I did go ahead and apply 2 coats of that. I did let it sit almost 24 hours, but overnight is generally good. If I'm making like a chalkboard mirror though, I do try to let it sit for 24 hours. So anyway, put Slick Stick on it, and I did go ahead and just do a quick, really easy paint job on this. It's going to be spruced up a little later, but it does have 2 coats. I used a tiny bit of Stormy Seas to highlight it. And then I also used sea glass, and I did just this 1/4 with a little highlight of sawmill gravy. vintage duck egg. So vintage duck egg, sea glass, and then the sawmill gravy on the corner. I kind of have a little fade up from the bottom, but it's really subtle, you guys. These colors are so close together, super easy to blend because they are so close in shades already. Hey, Patty, it's so good to see you on. Your jewelry boxes are looking amazing. Oh, this is Zoe. She's always in my lap when I get started. So we're going to start off with the transfer, and I want to put the transfer on because I want to get an idea of that before I decide how light I want to go with the baskets. And I've got one that I did start to stain. So let me show you guys. This transfer is gorgeous. It's the Flower Child transfer. And I'm really kind of upset that I rolled over it, but I really should take better care with these. So the part that I want to use, I've got scraps here. I've already done one piece of furniture with this transfer. So we're going to probably use a few of the scraps. And then I have a section here. I'm just looking for it. Let me show you guys. Kind of look at those vibrant colors. And this isn't by far my last step. I'm going to come in with some dry brushing, and I'll end up glazing this piece, I think, with the Voodoo gel stain as well to kind of age it out a little bit. So this is actually the piece that I want to use, but you can see where I rolled over it right here. You see where the color kind of changes? That's because I put pressure on it. And this is why you want to be so careful with the transfers. I put some pressure on it, and it adhered in some places, not all, to the backing. So the first thing I want to do is, when you have a situation like this, I have to tear off in multiple directions because my design has actually ripped. I started doing this last night to make sure I could even get it off. So I'm going to actually bring you guys in though first and put you down here so you can really see what I am doing. I just want you to have a really good close-up view. So in these transfer tubes, they're generally 4 sheets. It depends. A couple of them are a little larger. This is one of our older ones. And the awesome thing is this transfer right here is on sale right now. So it's a really good time to buy it. But see where you can really see, I think now, where I mashed that down. But I want to use this side, and the reason I want to use this, here we go, is I want this little overlap coming down to the front. I want this little feather pointing onto the piece and just leading your eye around. So far, I'm good, but I'm tearing this off extremely slowly. You don't want to touch any of this because it can come up on your finger. But this transfer is ripped in a couple places. So you can see where I have a few spots that are sticking to the white. But I am slowly tearing. So now you can see where I've got a big chunk sticking to the white. It's completely torn. So what I want to do is keep this back so it doesn't re-stick. And I'm going to come in. It's kind of hard to keep you on camera here. By the way, you guys, we should have Dixie Belle with us here tonight to help facilitate and answer questions. But if I happen to miss anything, I will come back and answer any questions. So I'm trying to do this very carefully. So you see where I've got another section that's sticking down. I want to minimize. You guys, I just can't throw anything away. So I've got that whole center section that's peeling out there. I'm going to see if I can come in from the other direction. I'm going to lose that whole flower, I think. which is okay. We're gonna do some layering in. I'm definitely gonna lose it. So we're just gonna bite the bullet and peel this off. So see where I damaged it? I got a lot of it up. Sorry, my little doggy is, I usually put this other one away because she's kind of loud. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out, but you see I have a whole chunk of flour missing here. And that's okay. So I want to see if I can get it. All right, so I think I'm gonna just go ahead. I need to cut this spot off up here, and I need to be really, really careful with that. So let me grab my scissors, which are on the other side over here. So what are you guys all doing tonight? I'm kind of surprised anyone's even on. I thought everybody would be out trick-or-treating. I would be out with my granddaughters, but like I said, whenever I did this, I didn't realize this was Halloween, that the Monday fell on Halloween. So, but that's okay. It's kind of nasty out, and we got to do some other stuff. Before Halloween, we painted some pumpkins today. All right, so now I've pretty well got this laid down where I want it. It's a little bit further. We're going to go over a bend here. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down first. And I'm going to come from this side and go over. I want to make sure that I get any air bubbles or anything else like that out of here. So I'm starting on one edge. I'm not pressing towards the middle. And you can tape it down. Like if you have one that's not sticking, it's moving around a little bit, you can go ahead and tape it down. So now that I've got this stuck on pretty well, I really didn't organize this. I've got all the stuff for my transfer on this side. Let me grab it together. All right, here we go. So this little tool here says Dixie Belle, comes in the set. Oh, Ranger's trick-or-treating. Oh my gosh, I bet he's so cute. What's he dressed up as? So Thelma, you guys, has this cute little, is he a poodle? He's a little one. He's a miniature. And he loves visitors. He's so cute. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub this on. I'm not peeling it back yet. And I know this looks horrible right here, but we're going to come in and do something with that. I've got actually about 3 spots in here. But see, I wanted this arrow on here. All right, so now that I've got it rubbed down pretty well, as I am, should have grabbed some tape too, but we're just going to use a corner of this. So I want to start at this edge because I'm going to end up folding this over to have some of it go over the front. Yeah, no doubt. They are a security guard, though. Those little ones, they let you know. They can't do much, but they let you know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and fold this on around, I think. And just go ahead and pull from this side since I didn't bring any. Oh, I wasn't even thinking the tape's right behind me. So this transfer is releasing pretty easy, as you can see here. And I'm just going along each section with this line. I could potentially get a bubble in this because of the way I'm doing it, but that's okay because I've never actually had one live before. But we can show you how to fix that if you get a bubble in your transfer. So I'm just rubbing those edges down. You can see how easily that released. Now I'm going to go along this edge here just to make sure that everything is attached there on the edge. And then we're going to start rubbing and pulling back. And what you want to do is rub in the areas that you're pulling this clear plastic back along. So that corner is a little hard to get into. Actually have a little debit card over here if I need to use it, but hopefully I can just squeeze in. So you can use all kinds of things for that. You just want like something thin that's hard, like plastic, a debit, credit card, anything like that'll work. Just gonna go across this front section, start peeling back. So anytime you see an area that is not stuck down as you're pulling that plastic back, just lay the plastic back down, go back over it, and then start pulling it back. So super easy to apply. And hopefully you guys can see, this is one of the reasons I wanted to get you in so close. Hopefully you can really see how that changes colors. It lightens up a bit, and then you know that section's released. So peeling back really nicely. So like this transfer is releasing so easily that I'm tempted to go faster, but I still try to take my time with these just to make sure. Especially with this one, I don't want any rips or anything else that I need to repair on here. So we're definitely, because this is damaged, and I actually lost a little bit more than I thought I was going to, we're definitely going to be working with layering the transfers. So this transfer, it is going directly onto the paint, which is really the easiest way to apply it. You normally want to have the paint, so let me rephrase that. It's recommended, and if you're not accustomed to using these transfers, again, I'm a bit close now. If you're not accustomed to using these transfers, you know, the recommendation is to let the paint dry for 24 hours prior to adding them. And that's always a good idea, but once you use them after a while, you kind of get a feel for how they work, and sometimes you can rush it a little bit. Like I just painted this today about 1 o'clock for the first coat. The second coat I put on about 4, and then I had a fan blowing on it so it would facilitate the dry time. So the chalk paint dries really quickly. This is chalk mineral paint, and it dries really quickly, but that doesn't mean it's fully hardened. And you know, even for fully cure time, for it to completely harden, it's actually 21 to 30 days. So on here, so you know, my last coat, it's only been a few hours, what, like 3 hours? And this is going on fine. But a couple of reasons: you want to make sure that your paint is nice and dry because you don't want any moisture under the transfer. But in addition to that, you also want to make sure that your paint has had time to really set up so that it's not pulling off because it's not hard enough. All right, perfect. So there we are. So right now this is super bright against this color, but I wanted to bring out these blues like that you see in the feather. So after I apply this, I'm going to actually come in, I'm going to do some dry brushing, and like I said, age this out so it really flows together, and this is just a really nice top on here. So I'm just going to kind of go over it with my hand first to make sure that I don't have any spots that are not adhered around the edges. And I use this time too just to make sure I don't have any, gonna get these front sections, just to make sure that I don't have any bubbles or anything like that. Because this isn't decoupage. If you don't have this transfer attached and fully on here, putting clear coat or gator, well, don't want to protect it with gator hide anyway directly. But I don't know where I was going with that. I'll think of it again in a minute. Right now, though, I'm using one of our finishing pads or burnishing pad to just go over this, make sure that my transfer is adhered really well. And it has. So before I layer, I do this because you don't want a section of your transfer not to be stuck, and then you put another section on and it pulls this one up because it's not adhered. So you want to do this varnishing step here. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take some of my other scraps and let's see, I have a little damage right here, and obviously this one, I thought I had it, I know I have another spot, but it's not really visible. So I think what I'm going to do is, let me see something. I want to make sure I'm covering up this entire spot. And I think that it is. So I think what I want to do is I'm probably going to cut this tip off about right here. And I want to be cautious just because of what I'm doing about how much pressure I'm putting on here. And that's going to cover up my whole section. So let me grab my scissors here. And I'm going to grab this piece right here because I want to show you a little trick as well going into those corners. So I just want to double check where I'm laying this out. Make sure so it looks like it's going to cover everything there. So see how fast I pulled that off? Too fast because I forgot that I had damaged it. And I actually just ripped a piece of the flower off, but I don't think that's going to be really noticeable here. All right, so I didn't bring it all the way back, but I did cover that full section. So I'm just going to kind of rub this down. Yeah, and I should have pulled it all the way back. Now I've got another little piece back here. I could paint that in. I could actually shade this out so it won't even matter. I've got this plastic still on here. I'm just doing this so I can rub a little bit harder. But what we're going to do is I'm going to actually rub in this creased section right here. You guys, one time I actually stepped on my transfer and that one was completely ruined. But layering in, painting things in, anything like that works to cover up any little damage that you have. And one thing I love about these transfers too is they are very opaque. And I will tell you, depending on the transfer, some are easier to layer over others because of how they release. And as well as some of the finish on the transfers, a more slick finish, sometimes you have to rub a little bit harder. I'm just making sure I get this edge up here. And I cut a little bit off, so I am going to probably just stick that on so you guys can see what I got going on here. I'm going to come in from the back side now. But you'll never be able to tell that this was not the original design and that it was damaged. So we've got those layered in, just adding more flowers. Another thing, you want to make sure you're working on a dust-free surface before you start applying the transfers. So like I I did a fine sandpaper on my paint just to smooth it out. And then I use a tack cloth to get any extra dust off, because if you have too much, if you add that extra dust on here, this transfer will not adhere correctly either. So I haven't seen too many comments yet. You guys, if you have any questions, or even if you think of them later, feel free to message me. All right, so this is kind of funny, but I cut this off thinking that I was going to run this all the way back, but clearly I didn't. So we're going to go ahead. This is the little piece I cut off. Then I didn't lay it down right before I started rubbing it. So we're just going to put this back on. This is going to be a little more tricky to line up. So carefully, because if you catch the edge of your scissors on the design, it will pull the design off when you're cutting without that white backing on the back. So that's something to be aware of. And this transfer is sticking super easy too. So I'm not really worried about the lineup too much. I'm going to trim this down. I'm more concerned about the feather lineup. So you guys, there's so many ways. You don't have to be scared of these products. There's so many ways to fix your errors. My work is never perfect, but no one notices ever. Because you can do, so like I didn't line this up perfectly. This is where when I start to distress it, it is not going to matter. When I age out in this crease, it's not going to matter because you're not going to see it. It's going to be covered. That's another reason I'm not too concerned about this. So little trick right here. Again, I don't want to scratch my paint. It is kind of fresh. So I'm just putting a clear piece over this so that I don't have to worry about damaging anything. And then that's it. So now this little piece is so tiny here that I'm about to pull out. You guys, I might have to stop on this part because I've only got 15 minutes and I definitely want to stain these baskets with you. I don't do a lot of small stuff. And well, I'm still not getting a hold of it. Normally that tape works wonderfully. So see if I can stick this corner under here. I do try to be careful with the tape though, because I have ripped the whole thing up before. So, you know, let me get a more sturdy piece. I'm just using the corner to get under this little side part so I can get a hold of it. And because I rubbed it down, whoops, I just dropped it. Because I rubbed it down so well, I don't have to rub while I'm trying to pull back. I got to get into that little tight spot, and I don't want to let go of this thing. So I'm carefully, I know my hand is in front of here, I'm just carefully rubbing that down. I want to make sure my little leaves stick. There we go, perfect. So I'm just using my finger to make sure that's all nice and stuck in there. Oh, hey, Jerry, how are you? All right, so perfect. That's all nice and covered. I think I'm going to go ahead and move on, but what I'll do is I'll take another scrap I have over here, and we'll just go ahead and put that, I'll just put another little leaf there, or I'll take one of these flyaways and run it across, something like that to correct that. But I'm going to go ahead and back you up. Because we are going to go ahead and stain these baskets with the Voodoo gel stain. Because these baskets are super, super dark. Pop you back a little bit. These baskets are super dark. I am going to run some of these transfers kind of around the sides, like some of the feathers, so that I've got the eye going this way with the design. So around about here, I'm going to put another transfer that'll bring it back around. Then I'll go down to this corner and probably take one of the feathers and bring it in. So your eye is always staying on the piece. So let me move this back. And let's talk about the baskets. So we are going to be using some Voodoo gel stain to kind of update the baskets. Right now they're super dark, and by the way, I'm going to dry brush a little paint on here over the transfer and everything else. That's another thing that's going to help cover the damage. And then I'm also going to, so it'll really accentuate these edges. It'll almost make it look like it's a bit distressed, but it'll be a painted distress. So these baskets, I want to lighten them up. And by the way, because of the slides in here in the baskets, what I'm going to do is protect this. But once I protect it, I'll use Big Mama's butter on the inside of these slides so that these baskets will glide in and out. Fantastic stuff. Plus it smells good. So this is Tobacco Road. See how it lightened it up? It's Tobacco Road with All Natural. It's a very watered down version of it that we're going to do. And I think I might come back with the second coat and just kind of highlight over it because I want these recesses to be this dark brown. I want to give these baskets a lot of dimension on the piece. I'll be giving the piece dimension too. Right now it's kind of flat still. So what I did to apply this, I'm a little hype, you guys. I've had like a ton of coffee today and I'm still drinking it. I'll probably be up all night. So we've got Tobacco Road. So this is Voodoo gel stain. It's water-based, dries super, super fast. Love this stuff. Love layering it together, love blending it together, which is kind of what we're doing. I'm kind of doing a fade up with the Voodoo gel stain on the baskets. Well, you guys, I already shook these up earlier, but let's see here. There we go. All right, so All Natural, put a little bit more on there. We don't have a lot of time on the live, but I'll finish these up before I go back and do comments. So I'm using the All Natural and Tobacco Road. I'm going to pop you guys down again so you can, oh, I just realized I still have my slippers on. I'm sure I'm not the only one who paints in my slippers. Frankly, in the wintertime, I paint in my pajamas. But not on a live generally. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Mister bottle. Oh, here's a full one. We're going to use our Mister bottle. And by the way, these, I don't know what they are, but they bleed. I wouldn't have thought they would have, so they must have some wood component in them. They almost bleed like mahogany or cherry. But anyway, so it's actually giving me, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on here. It's giving me a really cool, with the All Natural, the way it's bleeding through, it's giving me a really cool, like pinkish purple kind of look, which I'm loving. I was kind of experimenting on this basket, which I love. And that looks really good as well. It really brings out those purples and blues on the transfer. You can't really tell as much in here, but basically it's bleeding red. So when you guys hear about people talk about bleeding and and priming with like Boss, so like if you didn't want these to bleed, you could prime with Boss, but this is a little project. I'm not really doing all that. So we're going to start off with the Tobacco Road, and I sprayed it down. I'm going to use my French tip brush to just kind of go over this. And I suspect when I protect them, they're going to bleed even more. A lot of times protectants bring out the the tannins and wood and stuff like that. They bring out the bleed through. It's not just that, like felt tip marker will bleed. There's different things, like oils can bleed through. But if you have oils, you want to clean it with, you want to clean those with mineral spirits. If somebody's been polishing furniture with oil or something like that. Again, I digress. But see how that's lightening that up? See all that nice dimension where you can see that dark color back through here? I'm just kind of going around the top. So that was when we put on our All Natural. This is super quick. We'll just do the whole drawer. We've got a few minutes. So you guys, if you have problems blending with paint, throw some gel stain in it. It blends beautifully. I love the Tobacco Road blended into, like if you have a waterfall piece, I've done some where I blend the water-based stain into the paint to bring it around. That's really, really pretty. But this is it. This is super easy. You can go back over as many times as you want, really. When it dries, it darkens up a bit. But see, you can already see where that's like bleeding a little bit over here. It really happens more over time. Yeah, this is the first time I've painted a basket. Usually I don't, like I said, I usually don't do a lot of smalls. But I don't know now. So I have a thing for baskets. And now I want to go like stain all my baskets. But this would be great. Like, you know how you have the, what is it? Rattan or, oh, why can't I think of the name? Sometimes when I come live, you guys, I just forget everything. I forget the name of everything. Oh, help me out. You know, the chairs and they got the little weaving on them. Not the, oh, can't think of the name. Anyway, this would be a great to stain. I stained it with no pain gel stain before too, but this is so easy. And this wasn't planned. This was like a happy accident where it bled. I didn't expect to bleed through. But that was like a super happy accident with this particular transfer. Like, it's just going to bring it together so good. And I originally intended to stain the inside of the baskets. You know, it's literally not taking any product here. But I think I really like how that dark showing through. It's almost like adding a wax, but not having to, you know? And because it's staying nice and wet and it's nice and watery. And you know what would be amazing too? Is even like, say you have some leftover paint, water it down the whole bunch. And thank you. Yes. Well, no, is that what it was called? Because you know what? Thank you. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Jacquet, is that right? I don't know, but you are like a lifesaver on here because every time I forget the name of the spatula or anything else, you always know right away. All right, so perfect. So I may end up, I think I'm probably going to end up doing the second coat. I think I want to lighten it up a little bit more. I don't know though. This one is, oh, it just caught the light right. Can you guys see that pink and purple? I love it. And this one, as it dries, it's going to bleed more and you'll really see that start to come out. But let me put this one in. I'm trying to be careful because my paint hasn't been on here too long. And then I think when I come back over these edges, do that dry, oh. Here we go. So when I come back over these edges, do that dry brush. Oh, Jackie. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm always so hesitant because I don't want to say it wrong. So when I come back over these edges and do like a dry brush, plus I do the Tobacco Road glaze on here. I think I forgot to run over the front of this thing with the finishing pad. But once I do the Tobacco Road glaze on here, it's going to bring that all together nicely. So cute in somebody's bathroom or just anything like that, you know, a little washcloth holder, whatever, next to a bed in a guest room, anything like that. But that's it, you guys. Super easy update tonight for Halloween. And again, if you missed the beginning, this is just a tiny bit of Stormy Seas vintage deck egg blended into a little sea glass with a sawmill gravy highlight over on the side, the All Natural and the Tobacco Road Voodoo gel stain on the baskets, and then we have the Flower Child transfer up here. So this is going to be, oh, thank you. This is going to be posted. It'll be finished quick. This will be posted this week. And like I said, I'll be posting sneak peeks of the dresser soon. I can't finish it before Friday, though, just because of the no pain gel stain, waiting that time before I can protect it. So you guys have an awesome night. Hopefully somebody brings you candy. I'm counting on it tomorrow for my granddaughters. But anyway, thank you again so much. Like and follow me on Facebook. All the links are in the description. You can find your local retailer, all that good stuff. And thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next Monday on Chalk Paint 101. Take care.